Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to build a simple kitchen paper holder. I build a holder from a pine shelf that is 1.8 centimeters thick. I start by cutting two pieces to a length of 32 centimeters. These two pieces will be used as the top and bottom of the holder. Then I cut two pieces to a length of 23.5 centimeters. These two pieces will be used as walls. I also cut a piece that measures 14.4 centimeters. This piece will be used as a shelf in the holder. Then cut the width of all 5 pieces to 15 centimeters. I adjust the saw blade height to 5 millimeters and place a stop block on the sled at the same distance as the thickness of one of the wall pieces. Then I make a recess on one short side of the pieces that are 32 centimeters long. Now I move the stop block to a position that is 15 centimeters from the saw blade. Then I cut a groove in the pieces that are 32 centimeters long. When I make the groove, I hold the short side that does not have the recess against the stop block. Next, I use one of the wall pieces to measure where to make the next cut. Once I have made a new groove in both pieces, I cut away the material between both grooves. I draw a line exactly in the middle of the wall pieces, which is 11.75 centimeters from the short sides. Then I measure 0.9 centimeters from the center line and draw a new line. Once this is done, I make a 0.5 centimeter deep saw cut along the line that is 0.9 centimeters from the center line. Next, I take the piece that will be used as a shelf and measure where to make the next cut. When the second cut is made, I remove the material between the cuts. I take the pieces that are 15 by 32 centimeters in size and make a mark 7.5 centimeters from the long side and 7.5 centimeters from the short side that has no recess. Then I take a compass and draw a semicircle on both pieces. I saw the semicircles by hand a little outside the markings. Then I sand the semicircles completely round using the belt sander. Now it's time to drill the holes for the round peg that will hold the kitchen paper roll. I put the top and bottom together with double-sided tape. The drill I use is 35 millimeters in diameter, and I drill the hole in the same place where I made the marking for the semicircle. I drill through the top piece completely, but only 1 centimeter down into the bottom piece. I round off the edges of the pieces using the router. For the pieces that are 23.5 and 14.4 centimeters long, I don't round off the entire long sides. I'll leave half a centimeter at each end because these parts will be pushed into the recesses. It's time to glue all the pieces together. I start by assembling the shelf with the walls. Then I put the walls together with a bottom piece, and finally I put on the top piece. Now I just need to put the clamps on so that all the pieces in the recesses are pressed down properly. I stain the kitchen paper holder with a brown shade that resembles mahogany. As usual, I apply 2 coats of epoxy as a protective varnish. This time the epoxy doesn't stick to the stain. I use the same type of epoxy that I usually use, but a new batch that I bought recently. After sanding down the epoxy, restaining and revarnishing, the result was the same. The new batch doesn't seem to work on a stained surface, so I threw out the kitchen paper holder and built a new one. This time I'm varnishing the kitchen paper holder without staining. I tried staining a small test piece with mahogany stain and added epoxy on top when the stain had dried. The result was the same on the test piece. Apparently, the batch I bought doesn't work on a stained surface. For the kitchen paper roll, I'm using a round stick that is 33 millimeters in diameter. I'm going to put a knob on the top end so it's easy to lift it up when changing the roll. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a knob in any store that fit, so I have to make my own. However, I don't have a lathe, so I need to improvise a bit. I start by cutting an 8mm stainless steel round bar. Then I drill an 8mm hole in a piece of wood that I rough sand round on the belt sander. Next, I hammer the steel pin into the piece and attach it to the pillar drilling machine. Then I use a half-round file to shape the piece of wood into a knob. Finally, I use sandpaper to get a smooth surface. It didn't turn out too bad. Time to glue the knob onto the round wooden stick. After the kitchen paper holder has received 2 layers of protective varnish, it looks like this. Not as nice as mahogany stain, but nice nonetheless.